everyone. Thanks for coming to this month's No Lake County. I want to remind you that the refreshments are given to us by the Friends of the Library. You can join them anytime and help support the library. We also have newsletters, and you can sign up for an electronic newsletter. And if you want to fill out a form to say what you liked about the program or didn't, or what you'd like to see in the future, we have that available. And this month we have the Lake County Chamber of Commerce, and the CEO, Melissa Fulton, is here with us. She's been with the Chamber of Commerce since October 1990. And I'd just like to say thanks to the Chamber for the wonderful Destinations magazine. Here at the library, we have a lot of newcomers to the area and visitors to the area that stop by, and it's so handy just to give them one of those beautiful booklets, magazine. And they're so colorful and so well done, and we do appreciate it here at the library, and the people we give it to do. So thank you, and here's Melissa.
And if you would bring me a copy of Destinations,
Sure.
That would be great. Good afternoon. I am Melissa Fulton. I have been with the Lake County Chamber since October of 1990. I did leave for about 3.5 years, and I was the advertising director for the Record Bee, thank you, and the Clear Lake Observer. However, the Chamber is a passion of mine, and my husband and I moved here in January of 1989 and immediately joined the Chamber because we didn't know anyone, and we thought this is a good way to become involved in the community and get to know people, and it turned out to be exactly that kind of an experience. So it wasn't long before, when we were driving down the street, people were waving at us because we put ourselves out in the community. And I urge all of you, anyone watching, if you are the slightest bit bored or you don't know what to do, I will tell you that if you go to our chamber calendar at lakecochamber.com, you will find that there are so many things to do throughout the year, not just this time of year, that many times you have to make choices. And one of the big improvements I have seen in the years that I've been here is the amount of musical entertainment we have. It is everywhere. And so it doesn't really matter what kind of music you like, you will find it. And again, it'll be on our calendar. The mention of the Lake County Destination magazine is particularly close to my heart, because when I joined the Chamber magazine was a 16 or a 20-page newsprint, no color, no gloss, no anything, but it had a lot of information. However, over the years, we turned it into a magazine format and added color, added glossy stock, and now it's 114 pages. It comes out about the third week of every January, and I have been told by so many people who are native Lake Countyans that when they went through the magazine, they found out things about Lake County that they never knew. So it is a very educational piece, and we don't just distribute it within the county. We send it out to visitor centers around Northern California, and so it gets out well beyond Lake County. In fact, we purchase 15,000 copies every year, and we are in our final boxes. And each box has 55 or 59 copies. So we've gone through 15,000 copies already this year, and 1st of September we start updating, and it's quite a project. In fact, for any of you who have read Destinations, if you think that there's something missing or if there's something you would like to see in that book, we would love to hear from you. Just give us a call at the Chamber office at 263-5092, and we will be very, very happy to incorporate any of your suggestions or ideas. And now is the time to start that. As I say, I've been with the Chamber for quite a few years now, and our Chamber officially began in November of 19 1947. That's when it was originally incorporated. However, for those of you who recognize the names of Peggy and Don McLeod brought a photograph to me several years ago, and it was taken of Main Street, Lakeport, when the street was dirt and the sidewalks were wood, and there was a shingle hanging that said Lakeport Chamber of Commerce. And we know how long ago that was, or approximately. So the then Lakeport Chamber of Commerce has been around for many, many years. And it evolved over the years, of course. When I came on board in 1990, the name was changed to the Greater Lakeport Chamber of Commerce. And a few years later, it was changed to the Lakeport Regional Chamber of Commerce. And then we had a lot of people who are members, because we've always had members well outside the city of Lakeport, who said, well, why would I want to be a part of the Lakeport Chamber of Commerce when I'm not in Lakeport? So we eventually, actually 7 years ago, changed our name to the Lake County Chamber of Commerce. And we have close to 500 members, business members, nonprofit organizations, and individuals from all around Lake County. To find out more about what's going on in your community, I urge you to go again to our calendar and review what's going on. Yesterday, it's constantly evolving, and yesterday, for instance, the Blue Wing in Upper Lake is one of our most active calendar participants, if you will, and Bernie Butcher sent over about 15 different events to be added over the next few months. So again, very dynamic vehicle that you can use for your enjoyment. The Chamber is involved in many, many things, and one of our most active committees is our Governmental Affairs Committee. We pay attention not just to the government affairs, if you will, or the activities and actions of the cities of Clear Lake and Lakeport, but also to the County of Lake and the state and the federal government. Every Tuesday, we will put out an e-news. Yes, it used to be hard copy, but that got to be extremely expensive, and we weren't able to reach as far and wide as we can with an electronic copy. So every Tuesday, we do what we call our e-news, and you will find in there articles from both cities as well as the county. And then I also get a lot of communication from the state and the State Chamber of Commerce, as well as the federal government. And what we like to publish are articles that, obviously, since we're a business advocacy organization, I like to publish articles that are going to help our businesses or make them aware of potential legislation that could impact them, whether it be positive or negative. It's very important when you're a small business person and you're working day to day, keeping that business going and trying to improve it, you don't have time to pay attention to legislative issues. And the Chamber looks at that as a responsibility we have to our members and to non-members, because of course anyone can access our e-news. So it's very important to us that we try and share as much information as possible. Another weekly e-news that we put out, we call it our Events News Blast, every Thursday, and I started this probably 20 years or more ago. At first it was a listing of events that went, back in the days of fax, that went to all of the accommodations and the restaurants throughout the county, so they could print it out and make copies available to their customers to let them know about everything that's going on. So let's say someone arrives on Friday and they register in their hotel or motel, they can pick up a copy of what's going on that weekend and find a lot more enjoyment than just what they might have planned. So we've continued that practice, and now our mailing list that goes out every Thursday with events from Thursday through the following Wednesday reaches almost 2,000 different emails.
Wow.
So if you have events, if those of you looking in have events, your nonprofits, your businesses that you want people to know about, you can post them on our website. We do check or vet, if you will, everything that's sent to us, because what we find sometimes is there's missing information. Maybe the date is missing, believe it or not, or the times or addresses. There could be a myriad of things. So we make sure that we have complete information before we click Go Live button. But those are usually vetted the same day that we get them. And so your event or your activity is online almost immediately. In addition to our legislative news that we like to share, we also, when we have members who call us and state that they are trying to do something to improve their business, either move to a new location, enlarge their business, add some service that they haven't had in the past, and maybe they're running into a stumbling block and they don't know who to talk to, they'll call us. And so we act as their facilitator, if you will. Now, if it's an issue, which happens from time to time when you're dealing with city or county government, we will also step up if we're asked, and we will act again on behalf of the business to help them facilitate whatever it is that they are attempting to do. That is one of the things that we consider more or less a primary function of the chamber. It's so important that our businesses know that they have an ally. A lot of people go into business and they don't understand completely all of the ins and outs of running a business from day to day, and we can help them with that. We do have a business consultant who provides free consulting, and that person can help them understand some of the avenues or the roads they need to take, and some of the preparation they need to take before they take a new step to enlarge their business or move further on down the road, if you will. It's really important, and often we'll have people come into our chamber office at 875 Lakeport Boulevard at the Vista Point, George Hoberg Vista Point in Lakeport, and they will say, I would like to start a business, but I don't know where to begin. And that's where we step in and we provide them with information, we give them resources they can turn to. It is so critical, because what I have learned over the years is that there are a lot of people who think that they need to go into business. They've got this idea, they've got a product, they've got a service, and they're just sure that they can make it work, that it's a fabulous idea. That isn't always so. And so before someone puts a second mortgage on their home or borrows money from their families, we're hoping they will come to us first so that we can more or less give them a roadmap, if you will, help them build a business plan, and help them understand what all is really involved before they take major steps and make some mistakes that could ruin them financially. So we hope that those of you who are viewing this will get the word out that there is assistance available for people who want to go into business. And it's so important, because over the years I have watched a lot of businesses open and close much too quickly, and it's something that is a shame. And a lot of people have lost money, have lost their homes, because they didn't understand the intricacies of what it takes to actually get a business off the ground. One of the things we do to supplement our dues income, because one of the things we have always done with the Lake County Chamber of Commerce is to keep our dues investment at a reasonable level. So many people are struggling to keep their businesses going, and yet we know that the information we give them can really benefit them. So we want to make sure that they don't decide not to join because the dues are too much, too high. And we have programs where we can get people into the chamber and make it financially feasible for them to do that. But as a result, and as a result of an analysis I do on an annual basis of other chambers in other like areas, we keep our dues very modest. And as a result of that, we have to do fundraisers. And so we've been doing fundraisers over the years, and currently we have three fundraisers that are community events, and a lot of the community and visitors from outside of the area, because we advertise these outside of the area. They come in and a lot of people find enjoyment, and it helps us raise non-dues revenue, which helps us keep our office doors open. And some of those coming up, the first one coming up is happening at the county fair, and as you may see, this board shows our 4 candidates for our competition called Kiss My Clear Lake Bass. And these people will actually be, whoever wins, will actually be kissing a real live Clear Lake bass. And so we're doing that at the county fair. We're going to have a booth, and you'll be able to come and vote for your favorite candidate. And then on Sunday at 3 o'clock, we cut the voting off, and at 5 o'clock, we will name the winners. And the 2016 winner is District 1 Supervisor Moke Simon, and he will be there to crown the 2017 winner. But in conjunction with that, the Chamber has worked with the Lake County Fair, and there will be a huge bass and other fish aquarium on display next to the Donnelly Barn at the fairgrounds. There will be presentations by professional fishermen, presentation by biologists from the Fish and Wildlife Department, and you'll be able to take advantage of that, excuse me, and see many of the fish that are native to Clear Lake. Fish and Wildlife will be helping us stock the tank, and it will be there as of 6 o'clock on August 31st when the fair opens, going through Sunday evening. So you won't want to miss that, not just for our competition, which will be a lot of fun, but also for the information that you will see or you will hear, and the questions you'll be able to ask about Clear Lake, about the fish, about a lot of things that have to do with this wonderful jewel of Clear Lake that we have, this huge, beautiful lake. And I should tell you also that this particular aquarium is the same aquarium that appears every year in January at Cal Expo at the International Sportsman's Exposition, which is one of the largest travel and sports shows in Northern California. So it's pretty exciting for all of us, and we're looking forward to having that. So that's our first event coming up, as well as starting to edit and update destinations the 1st of September. Then following that, we have the 38th annual Clear Lake Seaplane Splash-In. That will be open to the public on September 16th at Natural High on Main Street, North Main Street in Lakeport. And we're anticipating, again, seaplanes from not just Northern California, but they come to us from Canada, Washington State, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, and as far south as Southern California as well. So we're looking forward to that. These pilots love to show off their planes. They love to have you come up and talk to them. And of course the kids love it too, and you can take photographs with the pilots and learn a lot of things about seaplanes. We've also opened the event to land-based pilots, and we're getting the word out to them, so they'll be flying into Lamson Field right here in South Lakeport. and we have arranged for a shuttle, so they will be able to be shuttled from Lamson over to Natural High on Main Street and join in the festivities. The Clear Lake the Clear Lake Modelers Club, who make the model airplanes, they are part of this event as well, and they have a simulator that will be on hand. So anyone interested or thinking that they might be interested in building a model plane and flying it, they will be able to test their skills on Saturday, September 16th, when they talk to the modelers. We'll have commemorative t-shirts available, and to start the day on Saturday, we have partnered with the Kiwanis Club of Lakeport, and they will be putting on a pancake breakfast, which is wonderful. We have tickets for sale at our office. And the beneficiary of the pancake breakfast will be the Boy Scouts. So much like the Kiwanis do at Memorial Day when they put on a pancake breakfast for the benefit of the 4-H club, this one will benefit the Boy Scouts. So we like to do events where we're benefiting not just our chamber, but the community at large. And we take great pride in that. A group that helps us every year with the splash-in are the Sea Scouts. And they come and they camp beginning Friday afternoon. They stay on site through Sunday, and they also stand guard duty overnight. They kind of patrol the seaplanes, and they do a wonderful job. And we're able to contribute to them as well. And we will have food vendors and arts and craft vendors. And we have a wonderful sound system set up so the public can hear the pilot briefing that will take place. And forgive me, but it's either 9 or 10 o'clock, so you'll be able to hear exactly what the pilots are talking about as they prepare for some activities they're going to do, such as spud bombing. Now, we take large truck inner tubes and we float them in the lake, and then the pilots take large balloons, and as they're flying over the inner tubes, they drop the balloons full of water and try and hit the center of the tube, of course. And then they also do what they call spot landing. And they have a marker on the lake, and of course they leave the field and they fly, and then they try and do a spot landing or hit the water right about the place where the marker is. And the public gets a lot of enjoyment out of watching these, all of these pilots do their thing. And I have to tell you, the pilots don't mind doing it at all. That's a big part of their weekend. So, one of the things, I need to digress a moment because I just talked about the fact that we're benefiting organizations outside of the chamber itself. And when I talked about the Kiss My Clear Lake Bass, one important aspect of that is that each of our candidates have chosen a Lake County nonprofit, and whichever candidates win, the top 3 candidates, their nonprofits will win a percentage of the votes that they get. And it is $1 a vote. I think I neglected to say that. So, and we're accepting votes for all of the candidates. So I apologize that I didn't mention that to begin with. Another thing, another event after the splash-in is our Oktoberfest in downtown Lakeport. And that happens October 7th. It's always the first Saturday of October. And one of the most enjoyable activities there is what we call our Dachshund Derby. And we have dachshunds of all kinds, and they come and they race on the lawn at the museum, because we close down Main Street, Lakeport from 1st to 4th, and all of our activities take place in that area. So we set up a little race course on the grass in front of the museum, and the crowd absolutely goes wild watching these little dachshunds race. And we're happy to have Rainbow Ag, who sponsors that contest and gives nice prizes to those who win. We also have an all-doggy costume contest. All of these contests have prizes. We have a beer stein holding contest and an adult and children's Oktoberfest costume contest. So there are a lot of things to participate in to keep the whole family involved and entertained all day long. We appreciate the fact that the businesses downtown stay open, and they receive a lot of business. The Main Street Association just did a survey of businesses in downtown, and it was interesting to read the results because so many of the businesses put down that one of their best days of business was during Oktoberfest or some of the other activities that take place. And so we're happy to hear that, because we want anything we do, we want to make it a win-win for the community, whether it be businesses on Main Street or businesses outside of the Lakeport area. We want to help all businesses. So those are some of the things that we do to supplement our dues revenue. Now, I'm sure that almost everyone who is watching this has heard of the Stars of Lake County. And that's a program that our chamber initiated, believe it or not, 20 years ago. This February will be the 20th Stars of Lake County. And the reason it exists is because it's supported by the community, by those of you out there. We ask you to look around, the people you work with, the people you volunteer with, the youth, the seniors, whoever, businesses, organizations, whoever has impressed you as doing something that benefits the community at large. And then we ask you to make a nomination for that particular entity. We have, if memory serves me correctly, 21 different categories. Everything from youth advocate, volunteer, to seniors. It's amazing. Man of the Year, Woman of the Year, organizations, nonprofit, for-profit, businesses. There's a whole myriad of categories, and that information is on our chamber website at lakecochamber.com. And you'll find that. You'll be able to download the application. If you can't download it, just call our office and we'll make sure that you get an application, or a nomination form. And this year the event will be the third Saturday in February at Soper Reese. So you have plenty of time to think about who needs to be nominated. I just sent an email on Friday after I saw an article in the newspaper. I won't tell you who it was about, but I sent an email to 2 people and made a suggestion that they might want to nominate this individual because of the individual's contributions over 3 decades, their contributions to Lake County. And I will tell you that I've been fortunate enough to be with this program since we started it. And the most thrilling part to me is the fact that I have met and learned about not just individuals, but organizations that I would have had no knowledge of whatsoever, nor would I have known of all their good deeds that improve our communities if it weren't for Stars of Lake County. It is definitely a countywide community awards program, and it's not a popularity contest. It is far from that. I've had people who have, they have a nominee that they want to become a recipient of that wonderful Stars award. And so they go out and they drum up many, many letters and emails and whatnot for that particular entity. But it isn't truly the number of times that someone writes about a nominee. It's the details. What has this particular person, business, organization, what have you, what have they done to improve the Lake County community? And that's what is taken into account. So it's not the number of nominations, it's the detail. So please keep that in mind if you're thinking about nominating someone or some entity. our process is that we take all of the nominations and we make a book of the nominations. And we have what we call the selection committee. And these people are not necessarily chamber members. They are from all of the communities around the county. So when all is said and done and the nomination deadline has been reached, we make an actual book of every single nomination in category order, and we run copies, one for each member of the selection committee. They are given approximately 1 week after the close of nominations to read that book, make their notes, and then we bring them together. And it's about, depending upon the number of nominations, it can be a 4 to a 6 hour process. We start about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we go through every category one at a time, and they make their comments. I always ask that if there is anyone in the room, any of our selection committee, who do not, who in reading through the information felt that there was something missing, that we should add something, then we encourage them to add it at that time so that they can in fact give complete information to each other. And then it's a secret ballot vote. We do not tell them who the recipient is, and about the only people who know who the recipients are myself, the person who tallies the votes that day, and then of course the company that engraves the awards. And it is a local company, by the way, buy local. That's very important. So that evening when we come together at the Soper Reese, it's a little bit like a Oscar awards show, if you will, and it's a lot of fun. We just really try and give a lot of credit, a lot of acknowledgement to the people who are recipients, but also to everyone who was nominated. Because if someone was nominated, they are doing very good things for our community and our residents. So we make it as wonderful an evening as we can. And it is one of the highlights of my career, if you will, with the Chamber, to be able to find out about these people that I would not have known about had it not been for STARS. So that, again, will be coming up in February. Another event that the Chamber does to benefit the community, if you will, obviously I talked about Clear Lake a little earlier, and so and right now the number of years went out of my head, it's either 31 or 32 years, we have had it started out as the Record B Bruno's Team Bass Tournament. It's now known as the Clear Lake Team Bass Tournament, and this is where we bring together teams who go out and fish, and we pay down to 20 places, and we bring fishermen, again, from all over the western United States. It's amazing the people who are dedicated to this particular tournament. And it is not a fundraiser because we call it a 100% payback tournament. We bring all of these teams in. This will be in March, March 17th and 18th, I believe. It's a 2-day tournament out of Canocti Vista Resort. So 100% of their entry fee gets paid back in prize money. And it's a wonderful way to celebrate this beautiful lake we have and get people to come here and enjoy what we have to offer. So those are some of the events that we do. As I say, not all of them are meant as fundraisers, but we like to call them community benefit events. And we take great pride in doing those things. Now I'd like to discuss with you something that we've been involved in, the Chamber's been involved in over the past couple of weeks. This has to do with issues surrounding the Lake County Community Development Department and the Building Department. It's actually all one department. Since our disastrous fires, starting with the Valley Fire, the Rocky Fire 2 years ago, and then the Clayton Fire, that particular department has been overloaded. As most of you I know are aware, we lost over 1,900 structures in the Valley Fire, of which between 1,200 and 1,300 were homes. And that's a huge recovery process. It has impacted our county very negatively. Property tax has been lost because the dwellings were lost, the businesses were lost. This is a huge negative impact. But the other part of that is that it has put tremendous stressors on the community development and building departments, to the point, to the extent that a lot of these building projects, not just related with the fire, but all building projects in the county are suffering because there have not been enough personnel to take care of the necessary inspections, plan checks, all of the intricacies that go into a development project. As a result, last Tuesday, which was August 15th, we had a discussion at the Board of Supervisors meeting. And out of that, the county jumped up immediately. The supervisors made it very clear that these issues had to be resolved right away. And so on August 22nd, this coming Tuesday, and if you're seeing this after these dates, I apologize, but it's important to know one of the things that the Chamber's involved in. August 22nd from 6 to 8, there will be a workshop in the Supervisors' Chambers in Lakeport on this very topic. The ripple effect of contractors not being able to have their projects inspected in a timely manner is horrific, because it means that they can't go to the next step of construction until that inspection happens, which means that there is no work for their workers to do until the inspection happens, or whatever the process calls for at the time. So the county has moved forward very, very quickly, as have the contractors. The contractors are working with the county to resolve some of these issues. And so the Chamber's been involved in that. Mark Borghesani with Kelseyville Lumber, major, major driver to make this all come about. And the supervisors are working with us. So I know that we will all see great improvements. And the reason that this is so important is the ripple effect I talked about, because it impacts all of us. If the contractors aren't working, or they can't work, and their workers aren't working, then goods and services aren't being consumed by those people who have no revenue. So there's a huge impact. It's not just on the contractors and the people they're building for. It does impact all of us who live here. So there are a lot of things going on that you and the general public may not be aware of, but the Chamber's aware, and we are involved, and we are working with government, whether it be the county or the two cities, or the federal government or the state government. That's what we see as our responsibility, to keep a healthy community healthy. So it's, you may have gathered by now that I have a passion for this job, which to me has never been a job. It is a passion. When my husband and I moved here, we embraced our community of Lake County, and that has never ceased to be the truth. It grows more every day, because as we work together, as we make the focus a win-win for everyone, all of us can make a difference. And it just takes a little bit of effort from each one of us, and it's amazing what can happen. So thank you for your attention. I appreciate being here today, and I thank the No Lake County program for allowing me to share some information, and I would be more than happy to have you call me if you have questions. The number again is 707-263-5092. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.